Hello, friends. It is your boy Jacob here, aka Mr. Gojo's #1 fan, as you can see from the shirt itself. Here today with a new type of video for the channel, but if you're familiar with me, you know that I like all things nerd really, and one of those main ones tends to be anime. So today we're going to be talking about Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and in particular we're going to be talking about the Premature Death arc and the Hidden Inventory arc before the Shibuya arc starts, which is, I want to say this week, I'm pretty sure. But before we start with the video, feel free to drop a like and or subscribe because it helps a small YouTuber such as myself grow, but if not, that is completely okay too. Now I'll stop talking your ear off and get right into my thoughts / review for the first arc of Season 2. Alright, so in order for me to stay as unbiased as possible, I'm going to break this review down into 4 core principles that I feel like are important for shonen animes in particular. The first pillar being the most important one, in my opinion, is the story. Because I feel like if the story is not captivating and or it's not coherent, it makes it really hard for someone to be able to jump into the series and or just for myself to be able to recommend it to a new viewer. The second being the pacing, because if you have a lot to say, but you have it in such a concise window and you're trying to get through it as fast as possible or within a certain time frame, then it just won't land. So I think that's why the pacing of an arc is very important. The third being the animation, because of course this is an anime after all, so you want to make sure that the visuals that you're watching are pretty clean. And the last but not least is reserved for the fight sequences, because this is a shonen anime after all, and what you're looking for at the end of the day, some good old-fashioned ass whooping, alright? Now when it comes down to the story, this is actually a prequel to the original Season 1, so it doesn't include all of the cast members that you've come to know over the first season, but that's actually not a big problem at all, because the story here is excellent, I must say, truly excellent. So the writer of this series, Gege Akutami, that man fucking cooked in the studio, man. Get this man out here. Let me give him a big ass smooch. This man went off. Make a character who, in my book, after watching the movie and Season 1, Geto, I did not like him at all, honestly. I thought he was a textbook villain that low-key is more problematic than Frieza. And if you're hitting those levels of problematic, man, some sirens gotta go off, because Frieza, how are you topping my boy Frieza? But I must say, after the first arc of Season 2, I am a Geto apologist now. I have completely switched sides. I have seen the light. Geto did nothing wrong. The characterization that they gave my man within just 5 episodes to completely make me do a 180 on his character arc was just chef's kiss, I must say. So I mean, shit, maybe, who knows? He made a good argument for why all non-jujutsu sorcerers are monkeys like myself, bro. I'm about to start calling myself a monkey after watching it. But Geto aside, that is just one portion of the story. We got my man Gojo going off as per usual. This is pre-OP levels. He's still trying to figure out his own infinite domain, so he can't completely one-tap obliterate everyone quite yet, but I mean, he's pretty damn close. It was honestly nice to see Toji have Gojo on the ropes a little bit. Even if he did end up coming back, I'm completely eviscerating my man. That's besides the point. Because in the lead up to that fight, it was very apparent throughout the story that Gojo was still trying to figure out and master his own techniques, which I thought was really cool to see, as opposed to Season 1 when he's already a full-fledged badass. It's nice to see the background development a little bit. And seeing Geto and Gojo be friends and take on missions as part of their Jujutsu High routine pre-Season 1 events was really wholesome overall, even though the arc itself is pretty tragic. I'm telling you, that scene when Riko is with Geto, and then Geto's like, all right, let's turn around. You're not ready to be this vessel. You got a life to live. And she gives her whole little speech about how she's happy to return and she has more things to do before she's ready, and then gets immediately domed by Toji, who just finished slicing up Gojo. That shit had me torn up inside. Which, if you've seen the show, of course, is no surprise that they do these tonal shifts where you'll be happy, there'll be jokes, you'll be laughing, and then out of nowhere, boom, tragedy. They love doing this to us, I kid you not. So to me, without a doubt, the best part of the arc was for sure the story. I loved every bit of it. And now let's get on to the pacing, which I actually do have the slightest bit of grievance towards. As I mentioned, this arc was 5 episodes long. I feel like they probably could have done with 1 or 2 more episodes, especially towards the end. The first 3 episodes, 3.5, they were really strong, but I think when shit really started to hit the fan, and the fight with Toji at first, where Gojo gets pieced up, And then afterwards, I think that everything was just happening a little too fast, and I would have appreciated maybe one more episode so we can flesh out a lot of the ramifications afterwards. And the pacing of the second fight, Gojo versus Toji, I thought was pretty fast, but I know that it's also like that in the manga, so no big deal there. But that was just like a personal grievance of mine. And now on to the animation. Dude, I don't even know where to start. Honestly, we gotta get the animators at Mappa some fucking sleep, man, because I really don't know how they be doing this, like season after season, show after show. Man, feed them. Let them see their families, bro. Justice for Mappa animators. I swear to God, those men are in the basement right now, pumping out something else, probably Jujutsu Kaisen Season 8 right now somehow. I also think that there's slight deviations between the art style of Season 1 and the art style of Season 2. I'm not quite sure what it is. It just feels like a little more fluid overall. The animation and the fight sequences, and just in general, really, it just looks so fluid, and all of the still shots look like art pieces. You know, I don't know what you studios are pumping these Mappa animators with, but man, I hope they're getting paid their decent wage. That goes in tandem with the fight sequences that we're now going to move on to. And the fight sequences were pretty dope, I must say. Season 1 definitely still had better fights. I mean, seeing the multiple jumpings that we got in Season 1, come on, it's very hard to top, so that's not fully fair. And that's not to slight any of the fights this season, because within 5 episodes, I would actually say that it was really action-packed, so I can't knock any of the fighting scenes. And the Gojo versus Toji fight was still top-notch, as well as any time that Geto was using any of his curse techniques or the curses that he commands. So overall, the action sequences were definitely knocked out of the park in my book, and I really thought that the fight scenes were pretty damn good, still a lot better than a lot of other animes out there. So all in all, after considering all the 4 branches of which I mentioned, story, pacing, animation, and the fight sequences, I would have to give this a solid 4 out of 5 for this arc, which is pretty damn good, and I'm going to keep preaching that Jujutsu Kaisen gospel and spreading the word of how great this show is and trying to hook my friends into it, even though they keep ignoring me. I'm going to keep mentioning it. Hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope you are also looking forward to the rest of the season as much as I am. Feel free to drop a like and or subscribe because it helps a small YouTuber like me grow, but if not, that is completely okay too. Thanks for watching and peace.